So were we taught hierarchy
Mm.
or did we naturally learn it? These are interesting questions, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, in what texts and who said it, always question your source, that we'll be coming back to some ancient cultures, yes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that what was said?
Yeah. That's what I heard from different.
This is also what I've heard too, but it seems. Now, is that a case of bad translation?
Maybe.
You see, that's another thing. And this is all relevant. I think this is all important because if it's taught to humans. Now, here's another one. Do you think humans naturally rise up on this planet? Here's another question that is a very important question to ask when going backwards.
Yeah.
Were we placed
Yeah.
or was it natural?
Yeah.
Then the question becomes, if we were placed here,
Yeah.
what were those reasons? Was it to help or was it to hinder? Here's another clue. Fungus and nature appear to be very much the same, don't they? I'm not so sure. If I had to guess it, I would say very characteristic, but I would say nature come from elsewhere and fungus came from somewhere else. Now you could look at that things collide in space. Now imagine a planet. What does fungus do? What is all life guaranteed to do no matter where it goes? What's the one rule that it has to fulfill?
Grow.
It has to expand. Growth. Life is growth. So therefore, we understand that all things try and dominate the areas that they're in, yes?
Yeah.
So if you imagine that then pops, whatever it may be, a particular planet goes off in one direction, it's only a matter of time, although this planet over here, where its star system is, maybe pops as well.
Yeah.
And shards stay in the area, but some of them expand outwards. It's going to be a matter of time before these cluster naturally, but it seems more unlikely. It seems more likely that if this was placed indeed, then something placed it for a particular reason. There's something fascinating that when you go off in the woods, you can't do this everywhere. Don't take this as advice to do it. You got to be so ready to understand the land, topography, and trees. Pine is extremely flammable, but even still, when we go back in time and we understand our hunter-gatherers, how did they learn that? And it's an interesting thing with pine that when you blitz it up and put it into water, do you notice it turns the water green? But it gets purer with age and it doesn't go brown. That's a fascinating sort of, if the lands were covered in pine, I just want to make a note of that. I think it was in 2019, just before the COVID, I was playing around with some pine
Yeah.
needles and stuff. Some of them I cooked up, some of them I bleached, some of them I pummeled, and there was a purification happen in this water. It stayed very green, a luminous green, so to speak, and I just wonder what type of... how many pines do you see beside river? There isn't many, is there? So trees have transformed, haven't they? They've gone from one format to another format, which is interesting. So to drop their leaves, pine needles do drop as you look around the tree. But what does that have? Does that have an antifreeze? Because we understand tree wells, yes, but is that from protection or is that a little bit of antifreeze in there?
Antifreeze, and as they grow, the smaller twigs become bigger and lose the needles, and needles grow on the end of the as well.
Do you think that by adding pressure to certain types of plants, so we understand, yes, that butterflies used to be really big, yeah?
Yeah.
And when you see them land on a bramble or something like that, could you imagine what sustained a life form that big, of that size? How much more bigger this stuff must have been?
Yeah, all the plants. Yeah.
Do you often think that life teaches you in patterns? What if you could find a way, naturally, life forms have shrunk down?
Yeah.
But intelligent minds would look at that and think, can I expand that?
Yeah.
can I have life-sized, yeah, freaking hell, man, a strawberry of this size?
Mm.
And then there's even more to go around if you shrink life, but expand what you rely on, yes? So we expand farming, we expand this, although I don't agree with that one terribly much, not without other factors. But yeah, no, anyway, so getting back to this placement. This is very interesting. Do you think that these things could have been found and put together? Because when in the woods collecting twigs to burn, sticks, not logs, industrial age will demand that you need big, thick cores, right? But that's laziness. All that boils down to is a tree will fall, yes, and you can cut it up and you get bigger chunks and the fire lasts longer and you don't need to collect as much wood. But if you were collecting sticks in a stick fire, quite intense, do you notice that you're clearing the land? Which therefore is, the fungus usually grows on this stuff. Yeah, maybe it's already there, sure. But are you taking away a food source from it? And therefore, was fungus more predominant on the planet back then if there was less things falling? There's another thing with fungus. Someone took mushrooms accidentally, the wrong type, yes?
Yeah.
And their vision went monochrome, but blue and white. What do you reckon that is? That's a bit of a coincidence, maybe, isn't it? Like blue and white. And fungus must be really adept at understanding blue light really well. It loves it. It thrives in blue light. And also very damp. So dampness and blue light. Heavy metals. Isn't this what a supernovae is?
Yeah.
So therefore, is it been made up from a lot of metal in the area that generates a nebula to form a supernova? If there's nothing but a large amount of metal, does it change the way the star, the outcome of the star, the type of star? Because if it does, that's an interesting thing. So if you were to engineer, crumble down a lot of elements and mimic a nebula, therefore you could, with enough numbers in your species, alter outcomes of stars. And are there any stars that haven't naturally formed together because their periodic table is in rarity, isn't it? And then if planets are forming certain things as well, that's even more rarer because the star directly did not create that. Think of it another way. It's a bit morbid, but still think of it as this way. How many humans would you need to make a star? A nebula. Grind it all down with all of the ingredients from humans. I mean, life feeding. Would that change the outcome of the star if there was a lot of life going into that? That's an interesting thing to think about, really, isn't it? That the nebula, is this what alters the type of star? So if you can predict, oh, this is the type of nebula here. What sort of stars do we have? And if there are any subtle changes in these nebula, being able to identify elements from a distance, you should see a cluster of certain types of potent elements in one particular area of the nebula. I don't think it's an even mix, do you? The dust, do you think it's all even? It's all exactly the same in the nebula? So, again, I wonder if this alters the outcome of a star. And if you can predict a part of the nebula, you should know before the star forms that there's going to be a particular type of star forming there. Most likely this one. Interesting. So yeah, I happen to have a different belief about life to what you have. And I ask the questions, are we placed? And why does that matter? Well, there becomes a reason as to what have you been placed for? And then why have you been taught this stuff? And if been taught it, then the universe works in one way or the other, doesn't it? To believe in star gods or to believe in a god is a difference, isn't there? And there again, it would show that if we were placed here, if you were to backward engineer this, that they do have weaknesses if we were taught this. Indeed, we were taught all of this. They have weaknesses. One, they must understand fear. Two, they're susceptible to control.
Yeah.
They worry about you rising.
Yeah.
That's indeed. They may have put things in to surround you with more extinction events. So we have a good and a bad, yes?
Yeah.
Good being moving away from extinction. So you might have something and call it natural.
Yeah.
Because you were born into it. So therefore, there's a lot of psychology understood with how to manipulate life would be to look at yourselves.
Yeah.
Well, we were like that in the beginning.
Yeah.
Maybe if we did it like this, and this. Oh, yeah, that's good. So somewhere along the line, something has had a play in their thoughts. And where do these thoughts come from? Perhaps how they were, and therefore have left in presence in the area. And then if they were to understand this, it all depends on how advanced anything is. Then they would stack the predictions one way in order to keep you busy with this. So fungus might look very natural, but actually might be have been placed and it come from a different star system, and then there's the battle of the twos. Yes, in some aspects it probably does feed it, but there again, have we been around long enough? And these life forms are pretty old in themselves anyway. These feel ancient. Oh, I don't know, man. Oh, have we been around long enough to see, has nature had to adapt to these? And have these had to adapt to these? That's the question. That's the part that we're missing because we wasn't here. So therefore it's blinded, yes? So we could then put in a belief system that might not be true, right? Because we would say, it's natural. They're communicating. So if that's communication in this way, one, how the hell do they understand the language? And then what are they saying if there is indeed communication? Fly on a wall in that conversation would be interesting. And is it communication, or is it that they're trying to work each other out?
Yeah.
And then would you look at nature? I see nature in a very different way. It seems to be self-defense mechanism.
Yeah.
Treat it well. You've seen it with these particular plants, that when you overforest on one, the needles get bigger.
Yeah.
That is a protocol that triggers it. That it wants to be peaceful and give you stuff that doesn't harm you when you eat it, certain things. But when you begin to abuse it,
It protects.
then it triggers a self-defense mechanism. And if you still don't heed those warnings, then maybe I think it would then again go into being poisonous. It no longer works for you. Now that seems like an active self-defense mechanism, doesn't it? Don't you think?
Yeah.
And again, fungus. Is it a self-defense mechanism, or is it triggering plants' self-defense mechanism? And now it's got to try and work out how to eliminate this.
Yeah.
Therefore, communication, which appears to be communication. Sure, they may be communicating through the... But for what reason? What are they trying to gather? Is it friendly? Is it let me support you? Or has this one evolved to tap into this one's support system or support network? And then what appears to be something like that would be a question now. Fast forward humanity, and if we were in space right now, and all of these capabilities of being able to build all of these artificial biomes within a biome, this idea would be looked at by people on the craft and be like, so how do we go forwards with this? Well, then we keep one natural and we separate them from each other in the others. And then see if this one here is indeed going to wipe one out, then the future will know that. But, however, if you are dependent on that, that will also wipe you out too. So, in order to stack the deck against being good, it's not about being paranoid, it's about asking these questions. You separate the two of them, And if this does indeed go extinct, you've just learned a very valuable lesson without ever walking the path, used your time machine, and you've also saved yourselves with it being separated. And you saved both of the species in the process. You separated them. That's interesting, isn't it? That's a very weird sort of balance. And you get the best of both worlds. Sure, you might like to eat these, and sure, you might like to farm off of this. It's about having a massive amount of nature, being forests, let it go wild. One that's a little bit more controlled, one that's a little bit more engineered, another one that's a little... When you come together with this is so many options, and there's not the risk of cross-contamination. Fungus, to me, is very parasitic. It invades you very subtly. So, yeah, there's a lot of things trying to work out life, isn't it? And is this a food source? How do things know whether it's a food, a prey, or predator? What sorts that out? And there again, have we been around long enough to see predator turn into prey and prey turn into predator? We've never seen that transition. We assume that spiders make webs in order to catch flies. Is it really true that when we look at the smaller scale, they use those webs to tap into nature, which is parasitic? We are parasitic in a way. Life, has it evolved to become parasitic? Was it naturally formed? Was it engineered to be this way? It's a very interesting sort of process, this, isn't it? But on the Earth, you only get one. You get one. That's it. And much and large, and by and large, you are understanding that you are relying on a star to be in perfect conditions in a universe of chaos, order from the chaos. I don't know if it works that way. Pressure, orbits, lacking of meat. That's a lot. That is an awful lot to rely on. And if anything happens to that, it's another one on the bad book, if you like. Whereas if you have more options, there's a chance that there's more survival, and therefore you begin to stack the deck against you. Now, anyway, or for you or against you. Now, if any other life forms have engineered us and we've been placed here, then how much of this do they know? And then placement. Why here? Is there something that they understand about planet frequencies? There are frequencies on the planet. You're born into it, so you don't notice it. Also, the rotation of the planet. You don't really notice it. Speed it up by a few marks, and I think you'll begin to notice it. It's a strange feeling, isn't it? What part of the flight do you feel? Takeoff, landing? But when you're up in the air, do you really feel it?
No.
It's a strange feeling, though. You sort of feel something.
Yeah. It's only takeoff and landing, isn't it?
Speed the planet up. And because you remember the before and after, that's what gives you the reference point, and the brain will flitch between the two of those, which will probably generate a signal from that. Yeah, it's fascinating. So yeah, if we were placed indeed, and were also educated, then there is a reverse to this script, isn't there? That would mean all the things that were understood as top could actually be the bottom in their understanding. And if you have multiple life forms going out, learning, doing, creating, whatever it may be, you're flipping the script. And if indeed they are planning on coming back, then they would have calculated that you will be playing this. You'll be playing this particular game. Plus, it makes me look at God as well, right? So here's the interesting question here. Is there a God? Okay, any life form that taught you to look at God through a different perspective, as look at me as hierarchical, right? Now, is it about doing back to them what's been done to you? Or is it evolving so hard, so fast, and so well that they become small in comparison. And what appears to be a fear is nothing more than a children.
Yeah.
Immature ones at that. And indeed, you start stacking the deck this way. Yeah, there must always be fear. Where does the behavior come from? Naturally formed up is too intelligent. Way too intelligent. And then there are peaks of this intelligence and dips of it, plummets, massive, massive drops.
Yeah.
And planets, when people get off the planet, you know, they change. They change. What is that about? Are we in a frequency? What happens if you put different life forms under different frequencies?
Yeah.
Do they change in any way? Are they more? You see, it's the mental part of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you're already engineering clones already.
Yeah.
Yes. Changing from one sex to another. That's an interesting thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
The choice of that doesn't come first, does it? But the fact is, do you think during pregnancy that there is a way to alter? That's already engineering, that is. Factor that in, that wouldn't it be weird that you would engineer before cloning is possible? And here's another thing. Yes, you can make it as one particular, perhaps you might, as one particular family line that starts acting like this plants the way they clone here. Yeah, you probably could. But it's this question here. What is this? And never underestimate it. If anything is teaching and it comes and formulates the same path as humanity, or the path of humanity, and they are violent like humanity, then you need to accelerate the intelligence on this. You have nerve endings.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you torture, and you have done throughout your history. Why? Taught or felt? Is there a way to tap into this feeling? Is there a way to understand brains that are programmed? Your minds are programmed. All of this information that comes in is from the moment you open your eyes. And then you would understand minds. And again, that would be assuming that anything else that placed us, and to look at an ancient way, one particular channel of it, there might be some truth in that. Is there some truth in that? Next question, what happens if there is truth in that? How is the outcome? What is this purpose for? Is it for your advantage, or is it for your disadvantage? And then it helps you understand where these life forms come from. But anyway, you'd amplify what they are. So a torture device then, that's designed to hit your every nerve ending and change it each and every single time. To make you resurrect for a moment, just for you to feel death with full awareness, while heightening your awareness like a wave, and it will become faster or slower, dragged out or not, and your perception will alter with this. Eternal life seems like such a great idea until you run with intelligence, don't you? You're already doing this. You have already done this throughout your whole... And yes, you could blame it on other life forms, but, you know. Could you ever imagine making something like that, as brutal as that? How much soul shaping could you do with something like that? We'll call one forging. Forging in fire, yes.
Yeah.
Where does this come from? Because of purity. Then therefore you're already speaking some language that is very interesting. But fast forward this with a lot of intelligence, and it wouldn't be that difficult to make this. This is fucking easy. Now that, could you imagine going in there? And then I'd ask another question. If you had this, would you go in it? Well, first off, what do you think your soldiers would be able to take? Being put in this, tortured in every single way imaginable. Do you think with that much stretching of the soul, that much torment over X amount of, well, it all depends, this could go on for eternity. Let's say if you had a 1,000-year burst of that, how tempered do you think the soul would be? How much more kinder do you think it would be?
Yeah.
It also works on the opposite scale.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being able to hit every nerve ending to feel really good. Then you would start to understand that there are different frequencies. The only thing that's being altered is a certain disturbance of frequency. And then be able to spend many years engineering this, perfecting it. That would be an interesting sort of moment. Anyway, but even still, that's a hell of a device. Would you think so?
Yeah.
Getting them to hold out a whole dossier to you.
Hmm?
Here you are. Give me the blueprint. For what? And that's the thing. That is really a thing here as well. If they're engineering, you're already engineering this, and this. Moving on with cloning, this is already happening. Engineer that a little bit more further.
Yeah.
Would you ever know, one, or know, if a god ever walked among you? Probably wave at you as you go by. And likewise, two, E.T. I don't even know why I'm given these two different categories, because from a human standpoint, anything from universal structure would be alien in nature, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, E.T.,
Yeah.
either or, would you ever know if one walked right through you?
No.
You've taught it language. You've give it out loads of dossiers. That's the question, isn't it? Really, or the thing that you could be doing. Then it becomes analyzing. For what purpose? Would a force like this remain invisible? Well, yes, because you're already doing this too. And where does it come from? To remain invisible means what? They can be more devious, yes?
Yeah.
Which then helps a belief system. You're crazy. Which then creates disbelief and causes the belief system to lock down even further. Would you enclose this in such a way to make it into a game? A reality show? Would you watch something like this? Would you participate?
No, I wouldn't watch it. And I wouldn't want to participate. But
Life forms do the most stupidest things. There you are.
But many people like to watch stuff like that. Reality show.
That would be strange, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That would really be a weird thing. And anyway, so particular planet placement. Can this trigger things? There again, you go near a certain planet, it makes you feel a little bit.
Yeah.
And therefore, would they have learnt to excel theirs? And while excelling theirs, maybe they've got a belief system that it has to diminish it elsewhere in order for, who knows, it's probably really advanced, but also really stupid as well. Begin to advance theirs has to expand in order to contract theirs, because they have to feast on the power.
Yeah.
Every invention made here, wrapped.
Yeah.
What an existence, hey?
Yeah.
And then how would they justify this? Well, they're doing it to everybody else, so we must be okay to do it. That's assuming that they were born into that. Maybe engineering cloning and it anchors down on a belief system that that's the right thing to do. That's interesting. What would this want you to do? And therefore, is there a force? Well, yes, now there seems to be two of these interesting couple of life forms seem to be communicating in the same thing. If indeed we were placed, that's reassurance, isn't it? They're following something, believing. Which then gets me to another one, belief.
Yeah.
What is life really about? Do you think that it's about revenge, this, that, and the other, anything else? Or do you think it's about adjusting in such the right frequency that something reveals? There's a sorting process.
That's a question, yeah.
You have to be at the right tunement in order to... So you could take one plant and it could clone and regenerate this whole...
Yeah.
That wouldn't impress me very much. But seeing all and new, that would impress me. That would unlock something in reality, wouldn't you think so?
Yeah.
A few humans versus a large amount of humans. Do you get bigger unlocks, bigger rewards? And then that's indeed, if there is a lot of life forms here and we should make a new periodic table, one with life, yes, sure, it's more rarer, but more abundant than we perceive.
Yeah.
For a life form, that is abundance. To the universe, it's very little.
Yeah.
And then indeed, if there are this many variations, something's looking for something. And then this would be autonomous, this cycle, wouldn't it? Automatic. Only the ones that reach a certain frequency. And it's very symbolic. This would be a weird question, wouldn't it? What an experiment to even try, if you could try it.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible to program humans with symbols and then put them in the sky?
Yeah, put them anywhere.
Have them in alignment?
Yeah.
Make certain...
Yeah. Maybe that's why you have some symbols on some rocks and places like that. They have meaning.
And do you think that while we're living, without being extinct, seeing it from here, our brains are filtering in this... Now, whether that's been done natural or it's also been tampered with, either or, that information that comes in, and when you change your perspective, another unlock happens. Tested via time, via expectancy. Predictability is you'll stay and be diminished with the star or planet. And then there would be calculation of when that would happen. At what sort of time. But then if it's already triggering off these other changes, that's answered something. Then awareness has to shift, doesn't it? Either or. That's why we must be very careful about what we steal and what we battle for, because there might be, with this whole thing, was to scramble it by teaching you difference and war, battle. Which helped to confuse the puzzle even more, did it not?
Yeah, yeah.
Because then there were pieces lost, the translations that are very few and far between. And if it's been edited as well. So people say that they've been fighting, more blood has been shed over religion. Yeah, I don't know about that. I think it's been over symbols.
Yeah. A religion is an excuse, isn't it?
So that's what we see, and then therefore, is there anything that we don't know about? Again, because you're defenseless in this stage, aren't you?
Yeah.
What defenses do you have against that? Well, you don't have any for let's say if we look at it from a God standpoint, you have no defenses against that. You're practically hardwired to a this, and this. But it seems to be more consistent and follows you throughout. E.T.? Yeah. Would they tap into that? Would you do it? Do you think if you fast forwarded humanity where we're headed, the way we treat everything, do you think humans would do this?
Yeah, some would do, wouldn't they?
Do you think they would begin to mix up the life forms?
Yeah.
What about then once they started to get the life forms sort of engineered, so to speak?
What about it?
Or would they then begin to start playing around with the mind, shaping it?
Yeah.
Therefore, would you turn off its defenses? If you found in the first versions that transitioned this way and you had step by step some sort of system that logged everything you did, which meant that if you run the same, process, you're going to get near enough exactly the same outcome. You get it to a certain bit and notice its defenses. And then you wipe it out. And you start again, but find a way to remove those defenses. Or make it more susceptible to things in other aspects. Then you engineer the life. What do you then have naturally? Dominance.
Yeah.
Therefore, you can learn an awful lot about species before they come into awareness. There's one thing evolving yourself. It would be a complete different and very bizarre thing to watch life forms evolve from a distance. See them as perhaps not that intelligent. Go back and look again, and all of a sudden it's all changed. It's never the same. And therefore you begin to see that. It's a natural version, perhaps. And then who is natural?
Yeah.
And then you look for meaning in this madness. And then what are the odds of life forms changing, not doing those things? And that's across the board, across the whole. Well, that becomes an odds number again in evens, doesn't it, really, if you want to play that game. But the ones that go to the other side of that behavior, which is one of the most difficult things I think you'll ever do, is transition. Now, does that unlock you or does that lock you? Then you've got to think about what it is you want to be.
Yeah.
And lots of people are in disbelief, and how many life forms are deep in belief, beneficial belief. Yeah, I think it unlocks things. I think this does. And the more of you there are, this triggers something else on your collective. Yeah. So the more you do, I think the more you get in terms of unlocking. And then is it a case of evolving in this way to become unlocked? But for what?
That's a question, isn't it?
Well, pruning grounds. But anyway, even still, intelligent life forms. Oof, yeah. Some equipment that there could be.
Yeah.
Would definitely be these. We all think death, right, is a way out.
Yeah.
It's a weird feeling, really, isn't it, to even say that death is seen as a way out.
Yeah. Way out of this realm, I would say, though. or this relations and this whatever is programming, or you know.
And you say other things as well. At least they're no longer in pain.
Yeah, yeah, physical. Yeah.
Reverse engineer that. Sure, everyone wants to live. Everyone wants to live longer.
Yeah,
In what condition?
yeah.
Do you feel like being in cryo-suspended animation? An everyday person. Nah, you're alright, thanks. Why not? Life's shit. Oh. Go to someone who has cash.
Yeah.
Or seems to be quite happy, content.
Yeah.
Do you want more of this? What is that you're selling? Well, here's the thing.
Yeah, they will get different result. Right?
If aliens ever meet us, they'll definitely resurrect you. That's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Next question, if we want to think this through with a bit more depth. These ETs that you imagine that would come back and perhaps give you some technology, friendly or enemy? Capture?
Yeah.
Punish? See you as workhorses? Slavery? Where do we draw the line? All of these are lessons. Sure, you've come a long way. Everybody has. Other life forms, have they? Then that gives you a decent amount of thinking then. Distance is key. And walking bit by bit. Not all life forms are going to be like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, again, you only know yourself, don't you? You only know your species. And what your species does is what you will miss when it comes towards you. And then those other changes will seem like a threat. And therefore, these ones might be the ones that are not all out for war and are about collaborating.
Yeah.
But you'll mistake that difference because you'll much rather clop together or fit in with this type of group because you know yourself, you know your species, you know what you've been through, you know what you've done. Anyway, probably going to leave this one here, maybe, but there you are. These are deep questions to ask. And anyway, when clearing out the sticks from the forest floor, do you think that you're preventing fungus?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're tapping into a food source of it, aren't you?
Yeah, removing some of it. I've seen some bigger branches that had some black fungus on it, but they were more in the vegetation, the stinging nettles and the higher grass on the floor there.
Yeah. And there seems to be an aroma. Different aromas come from that.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not all one. It's a selection of different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you're smelling. And therefore breathing, so therefore chemical. And if we've evolved around that, how much of that are we still dependent on?
Yeah.
And there seems to be another phenomenon with it, that when there's a way to build a fire.
Yeah.
If we even indeed need to build them anyway, keep them very small. But the thing is that most people throw a lot on and it creates a lot of smoke. No, if you build it just right, in the beginning it should make smoke, but when it gets going gently and a little bit at a time, it will not smoke. Therefore, that's removing particles. It's burning up more, so therefore it's efficient. The energy going in is not too much that it's... And therefore there's enough there to burn all of that before it leaves. It's that type of it, the smell that comes from that. So, yeah, how much of that has evolved you? sort of a bit nutritious, isn't it, in a way, if you think about it that way?
Yeah.
And cooking things in the ash. So once that fire has started to burn out and you've got a little bit of ash and you can cook some things in this, it takes on some of that, but there is often this it's a bit like a seasoning, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it is.
And then how beneficial is this for smaller insects that might cluster trees that begin to become parasitic? This smoking effect, in essence, or this heating, it's too hot for them. Plus, with the unstableness of it, they let go. It tends to make the sap more stickier. So yeah, this kind of runs with a benefit on certain plants. Only in a natural world, sure. If you were to start all of this from scratch and somewhere else, space or whatever else. And again, to regrow plants, if you were to add a lot of pressure to them, and when they get to a certain age, release the pressure slowly. How do they adjust to that? And then what do their flowers look like? And then, indeed, is it possible, do you reckon, eventually in the future to make two types of plants? You know when a plant begins to flower, what about if you were to cut off all the flowers, put it into a solution and it stays alive for as long as you want it? Now that changed the plant considerably, that would, wouldn't it? You'd have natural as and when. But this particular plant, okay, it's not going to smell forever, perhaps not. But could you imagine tapping into that in such a way that it stays alive? Then it would ask me another question if I was connected this up. And again, this seems really science fiction, right? The best purification would be to preserve the life form itself. Would you then be able to give it what it needs to continuously give pollen? It would be artificial as anything, but hybrid. I mean, if it's even possible to do so, which, again, it would be like taking the age, and rather than it being at this particular ratio, you just stretch the wave format so that it perceives to have the same amount of time, but you stretch while feeding into it. So you've slowed it right down. Now that would be interesting. Not time, it's perception of time. And therefore you might be able to make it last a little bit longer with this process than maybe a few months. And eventually, like a light bulb, just needs the energy fed into it. And do you think any of these things are possible? Grow it in a lab? Do you think people would call that groundbreaking? Starts off so simple with a plant, and then the human arm starts being grown. That'd be an interesting thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would.
What are you here to see me for? Well, I got this antique. This is my oldest clone, but it's a little bit worse for wear, as you can see. All right, it needs a new arm. Okay, yep, go on, you get in there. See you later, antique. I don't know, it seems a bit weird, but even still, but that's what we're doing though, isn't it? With life, we're trying to... And then if you are living in an environment such as this, and this becomes not something that you think is possible, but something as a reality that you're living in, how does this change your fundamental style of belief? Because you're now clustering multiple different beliefs that now are possibilities, that are realities, and then this alters your... I got another question for you. How does the mind know how to predict that?
Does it?
Don't you think the mind is like a time machine? And then are you tapping into one parallel from that? One calculation? We are extinction with eyes. Evolution with eyes. That's what we are. And a brain. And an external version. as well as an internal version. That's fascinating, isn't it? Connected to something else. So, yeah, the reach through. So, there again, you could spread a good thing about this.
Yeah.
But what is good? Evolving. Yeah, evolving with that. And being careful about what's been taken from where and who and why has it been translated this way.
Yeah.
Have this, got all of this, times have updated to this. What's this? And then the more that starts to come into your reality. Could you ever imagine that? People saying like, oh yeah, people are going to have these really small things called phones. You'll be able to walk everywhere. Get on with your homework. You're living in La La Land. Come on, look. And then it happens, and damn, that changes your belief, doesn't it? Entirely. Now you're living in it where this is a possibility. But then if you went further and it's robots, remote control robots. Come on, remote control cars have been around for ages, haven't they? Yeah, electric cars, patting down, been around fucking donkey's years. But what about remote control robots? The thing is a walking solar panel. You can stick that bad boy practically anywhere, and you can get it to build anything from anywhere, just using your mobile phone. Fuck, you're crazy. Oh, little. Oh, that's all the fun there, isn't it? It's fascinating, isn't it? Einstein, a lot of genius, just a dash of crazy. There we are. Yeah, just a little bit more. There we go. Sprinkled in with a little bit of this, garnished with that. Interesting. So yeah, right. I'm probably going to leave this one here because I'm just, it's the next bit. I like that one. The next bit on this. Just thinking about all of those possibilities and which one would you rather be to be remembered as? And therefore, there is this stacking event here from the good, the bad. Could you weaponize it? Yes, you're already doing it anyway. So, and are you giving permission via actions as opposed to words? Yeah. I don't know about a hierarchical structure. Not really. How do you have a hierarchy if there's lots of different points of hierarchy? And then there's a question. Could that be everybody like that? Okay, now let's live in that reality. Now what belief system are you generating? If that's from this much, what could be from the whole populace? Then what could be from the whole populace to replace all of the common structures that there are in society, that we do this rigmarole, find a way to make it autonomous. And if 9 billion people come together utilizing weird AI translation, yes, and said, should we take that fucking thing on? 9 billion. How many did it take to build pyramids? 9 billion individuals. How long do you reckon that would take to build another Earth out of the rubble around?
I don't know. But if people cooperated, it would work somehow, wouldn't it?
See, that's power, that is, which then shrinks pyramids.
Yeah.
Could indeed you make these in space? Just hypothetical, doesn't mean that this ever happened.
Yeah.
Could you lower these onto a planet from space, gently? Could you hit it in with just enough force to part fuse it into the ground?
Yeah.
That becomes the question, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And if you could do that, do you reckon 9 billion could do that?
Yeah.
Actually, you're going to stick 2 at the sides and 2 on above, huh? Could you turn the planet into the shape of a star if you wanted to?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 9 billion, yeah. Whilst being supported with all the mundane things, which is like the past, ancient. You still need it. Fucking right you do. But it's supporting you. To do what? This. Everybody coming together on a particular cause. Do you reckon 9 billion humans could turn the moon into a fucking large greenhouse? With enough food for that thing to supply 4 humanities if it ever needed to. Enough to keep on going, even through an ice age. Just argument's sake. Why you would do that, I don't know, just to prove a point, but there you are. That's an interesting sort of thing. I think it would be cleverer to do that by making the pods, whatever it may be, easy to lift off the moon, and which there again needs synchronicity, doesn't it? That would become very important, is the synchronicity. And then there's choreography and how you move in that particular way. Moving in synchronicity with one another. And then at a moment's notice, being able to separate the synchronicities down into, it's a bit like making music, by the way. Separate these into their clusters, their synchronized cluster, which then creates formation. Yeah, it sounds very easy, doesn't it? Does it sound very fucking easy?
It does, yeah.
And then slowly but surely 9 billion with these clusters moving in synchronicity. Being able to go in any direction. Any.
Yeah.
But the information is sent to the others just in case you're going into the same direction. It will make it so you miss. Which then you start to learn something about space in that way, and maneuvers. Anything that's traveled through space would understand how to move very well. Think of it like bees around a hive, the way they swarm it.
Yeah.
I hardly ever crash. Interesting, isn't it? Even when they're all coming out in a frantic. That's the type of movement you want around objects in space. Because it's very chaotic, isn't it? Isn't it like the wasp teaches you how chaotic it is, yes?
Yeah.
How unpredictable. It's 1 minute, it's sort of air jabbing, I like to call it.
Yeah. Buzzing around in different places. Hovering, then buzzing, hovering.
It tries multiple different ways of moving around you, and then it incorporates a few, which you can then start to notice a pattern. It's a very fascinating way of... It confuses you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then you might be trying to swat it. By that time, it's already behind you, looking at you, predicting another move that it's going to make in terms of your counteraction.
Yeah.
Okay, the wasp now, in this instance, is humanity in a pod, and the human is alien. So to speak. Which one do you want to be? The one that goes in a straight line? Or the ones that move like the wasp?
Yeah, be unpredictable.
And which one's the most effective unpredictability? Is it the stalking? Sort of. Yeah, for me it's the wasp. Stick the way it maneuvers. And they can't keep it up for very long, and you can work out the pattern and then begin to predict their next move, and then, yeah. A bit like some people smack the back of the snake, don't they?
Yeah.
The cobra, isn't it?
Yeah.
Damn, is that fake? You really do that? Man. It's got a soft spot for you, hasn't it? So, yeah. It's all there if you pay attention to it, isn't it? All of this movement, and how can you look at it? Well, it's just a wasp. Yes. Now switch up. Okay. That would be good movement in space. Why? Look how confusing that is. Have you ever had any other life forms? That is the confusing. And do they know about this? Huh, we're going to put you in some top secret area. You've got a little classification, you little some bitches.
Yeah.
We're going to hide you in some files. Yeah. Because if they see you maneuvering in this way, that is data being given out, really, isn't it? Given.
Yeah.
And would you believe they'd take you on just by grabbing a wasp? Yeah, if they managed to get hold of a wasp, they'd work out your pattern where you learn it from, and then... do you think that the more you advance in the universe, it becomes all about the mind? Working out other life forms. Do you think it becomes that very quickly?
Yeah, looks like that. Definitely more of mine.
Here's the thing. You can get really good at it, and you can make an outcome that leads them into their own destruction, or you can do it, which leads them into success. How weird is that? Which incorporates you into the process as well. That's a weird thing. So which one would be a great engagement if it was hostile? Well, you'd send every single thing you've got at it. No. Most of you disappear. If you was like, we got this. Are you sure? Yeah, we fucking got this. And you would have multiple, a flick of a button that particular swarming or whatever it was did not outsmart it. But it's okay because we're still safe. And then you flip that switch, and then now they meet you again, but in a different format. I mean, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Yeah. They can't exactly kill you, not with cloning, and then it depends on how quick you can do it. Yeah. And it's assuming it goes that way. You might want to run them up in calculations. And there again, it then makes you ask, how calculated do you think the creator is? That's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Because you are in a calculated biome. And then that doesn't work with hierarchy, because then if that means that something is held in this suspended, what happens when it's not? Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, right, I'm going to leave it here, because if not, I will go a lot deeper, and I would like to, but not today.